Hey guys, welcome back to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with our Zeri supplementary guide, and today we're going to be talking about RUNAAN'S Hurricane Zeri. So honestly, the build is exactly the same as yesterday, except that we're swapping out Phantom Dancer for RUNAAN'S Hurricane. So if you want a detailed breakdown of the build, I don't really want to explain it twice in a row. So just check out yesterday's video for the build. The build explanation is less than 5 minutes, I believe. So you can just check that one out. I'm only gonna really talk about RUNAAN'S Hurricane and replacing Phantom Dancer with RUNAAN'S Hurricane. So Phantom Dancer, as we know, gives you 55% attack speed when you have it stacked up, and gives you a lot of movement speed as well as crit. Now both of these items give crit, so that's almost no difference. We have 55% attack speed from Phantom Dancer versus 45 attack speed from RUNAAN'S Hurricane. And RUNAAN'S Hurricane gives an instant 45%. You don't have to stack up for attacks to get that attack speed. So in terms of attack speed, I'd say it's almost the same. And I say almost the same mostly because, as we know, Zeri can exceed a certain attack speed amount. So when you get to that amount, it's gonna be pretty much the same anyways. And secondly, to even get to that 55% attack speed, you're gonna have to stack up for 4 seconds, whereas this one is instant. So in terms of crit and attack speed, I'd say it's almost the same. So the main difference here is the passive. So Phantom Dancer gives you the movement speed passive. Now the reason why this is so good on Zeri is because it allows you to kite so much better, and that's what mainly Zeri likes, which is to kite in and out of fights. However, that brings you the huge problem of the fact that Zeri can only hit the front target. Now, in our previous gameplay, we didn't run into that issue because we were so fed that it didn't matter who the target was, we can just kill them. But in a lot of matches that you play with Zeri, unless you're Giga fed, you're only going to be able to hit the front line, and you're not going to be doing that much on the front line. You can't hit the back line because, it's sort of like the Graves problem where you can only hit the first target, you can't hit the people behind. So one of the ways you can resolve this issue is with RUNAAN'S Hurricane, because RUNAAN'S Hurricane gives you the Wind's Fury passive, which allows you to hit 2 extra targets aside from the front target. This basically allows you to hit the backline targets, which is the main reason why RUNAAN'S Hurricane is important. So the issue here is that, not issue, but the thing here is that RUNAAN'S Hurricane or Phantom Dancer is a second item, so you can't really see the situation and decide which one you want. It's sort of it has to be a choice, an active choice when you're going into the game already. Now most of the time, if I see many kiteable champions, I will choose to go for a Phantom Dancer, because even if I can't kill them quickly, I can just kite them out and just do damage to them and they can't reach me anyway. But if I need to attack the backline, and if I want to do that, then I'm going to go for the RUNAAN'S Hurricane. So runes and spells, also the same as yesterday's video. So let's not waste any more time and let's jump straight into our gameplay. Alright, so now jumping straight into the gameplay. I'm actually going to put the Zeri video from yesterday, which is the Zeri updated complete guide, in the cards above, for you guys who want to check out my explanation on the loadout, just in case you can't find the video. So yeah, and yeah, okay, so now we're jumping straight into the gameplay. Now, as promised from yesterday's video, this is going to be a lot more of an exciting gameplay. Yesterday was a complete stomp, and today's video is going to be less so of that. Now, of course, I'm playing in solo queue in this game, and I have this random Seraphine support. Now, the Seraphine actually plays really well. It's a Seraphine main, Mastery 7 on Seraphine. I believe in the Seraphine top charts or something like that. So it's a really, kind of a really fun game when you have a good support. But as I said, rest assured, it's not a stomp. It's still a very competitive game. But it's always nice to have a good support with you when you queue up in solo queue. Anyways, in this game, as you guys can see here, there's no one very kiteable on the team, so I decided to just go for the RUNAAN'S Hurricane build. Because if you see, Ezreal can't be kited, Yasuo can't be kited because he can dash on your hit, Kayn can't be kited as well, he can ult onto you, Ziggs is long range, you can kite him, and Nami as well. So you can't really kite any of these people, so I decided to go for the Hurricane build. Here Lee Sin comes in for a gank onto Nami, but the secret target is actually Ezreal, so here I'm going onto Ezreal. Nice charm lands on by the not charm, nice root lands on by the Seraphine, and I'm able to finish off the kill on Ezreal. Here me and Lee Sin gonna finish off the kill onto the Nami as well. Unfortunately, Lee Sin ends up dying for it. Nami picks up both kills, which honestly I think is not too big of a problem. At the end of the day, we traded 2 for 2, but Nami got both of the kills, whereas me and Lee Sin got the kills on our end. So overall, I think that's a not too bad of a outcome. So anyways, here we're of course heading back to lane. We picked up, once again, same combination as yesterday, the Noon Quiver and the Longsword. Of course we're going to build towards Shield Bow as our first item, so that's logical first item to have. So now we're going to talk about laning. So playing against Ezreal and Nami with a Seraphine, what's that going to be like? Well, Ezreal and Nami are probably going to want to poke us and slash all in when Nami hits the bubble like that. And Seraphine, honestly, it's the same. Seraphine just wants to poke, and I kind of semi want to poke with my Q as well. And Seraphine wants to catch out with her E, like you see here, and you know, we're just gonna go in when that happens. Now here we get ganked by Kayn. I'm gonna flash away so that he can't kill me. And under the tower we should be relatively safe. Huge wave is actually coming in, so we're at risk of actually getting dived here. Thankfully Ezreal is actually pretty low, so the actual chance of that happening is semi-unlikely, because diving with only Nami and Kayn is generally not going to be a very good idea for them. But here, you know, now that we've pushed up the wave and cleared it out, we were initially intending to back, but the enemy team doesn't allow us to do that. And the next wave is here, so I guess we're going to have to just stick around and just go for this next wave instead of being able to back. Ezreal kind of hard shoving this wave at the moment, so it kind of actually works out for us, so we can farm safely on the tower. Now we can back. Gonna stand a little bit further back so Ezreal has trouble hitting his Q onto us to interrupt our back. And off of our back, we almost can finish Shield Bow, but not quite just yet. So we're just gonna take the glove, and we're just gonna run out and head back out into lane. So you can see here that Kayn is mid, but he is on our side of the map. So we do want to be a little bit cautious when it comes to like taking fights when, you know, we know that enemy jungle is on our side of the map. Of course, we also know that Lee Sin is on our side of the map. However, he's not exactly the closest. He's like at the Raptors at the moment. He's going to path down though. He's going to go from Raptors to Raid to Crux most likely. As I say that, he ends up going for a mid gank instead. So I guess not really, but yeah. So anyways, here, no idea where the enemy bot lane went. So I'm just going to push out the wave instead. Nami is just apparently on the tower. Ezreal apparently just made it back. I'm not sure what was the hold up there. But anyways, here we're just getting some poke down onto Ezreal. Actually, Seraphine goes in for an ult, but unfortunately we get hit by the Nami combo, so not looking too hot for us. Here I managed to pop the ulti and finish the kill onto Ezreal. Lee Sin comes in for the kick onto the Nami for the CC, and I'm able to finish off the kill onto the Nami as well. So this is a classic situation where you have a low support, the enemy team is just chasing in for your support, and as a result they kind of just ignore me, and I end up, you know, being able to pick up the kill. Here Kayn is going in on Pantheon, or Pantheon's going in on Kayn. I'm not sure which way you want to see it, but here I'm going to hop the wall after Kayn comes out so that I don't end up dying. But me and Pantheon are pretty low, but Lee Sin is now in to join the party. So here I'm going to let Lee Sin and Pantheon handle the Kayn, and I'm just going to back, pick up my Shield Bow and my boots as well. I don't really want to, you know, participate too much in this skirmish because I'm pretty weak at no items yet. You know, I don't want to risk dying, especially right before Dragon. Which of course the Kayn just did. So here, you know, we're in the Dragon area. We should be a free Dragon. I'm rotating straight to Dragon. I'm kind of ignoring my wave and all, mostly because I believe we can get this Dragon before Kayn gets here. So I'm trying to rush the Dragon, and we do indeed get the Dragon. Only afterwards I can go back to farming my minions. Now, of course, doing this I did lose a couple of minions, but I think securing a Dragon is, you know, pretty important of a deal. So I think that that's completely worth sacrificing my minions for. Now here, I'm going to flash the Nami wave, and the reason I do that is because if Nami wave hits, it guarantees Nami bubble hits, which guarantees that Ezreal hits like a WQ combo at least, and at half health, I think that's pretty risky for me. Seraphine comes in with a flash ultimate onto Ezreal, and I'm able to get a free double kill off of that. So beautiful, beautiful combo there by the Seraphine. Even has a Seraphine emote apparently, and of course I'm going to give him the thumbs up. So yeah, we get another double kill. We're 5-0 and 1 at this point, so we're doing pretty well, and we're gonna of course go ahead and go for the tower. Of course, freeing up the tower is gonna be pretty important. On the flip side, our team is now contesting the Herald. Kayn actually dies, and we get the first tower. So we didn't choose to go for the Herald because we can get first tower anyway. Herald normally guarantees you first tower, so why not just get the tower instead? Here I realized that Nami and Ezreal have vision on me because I'm recalling there and they start walking towards me, so I know that they know I'm there, so instead I'm just going to walk back and recall here instead. Now unfortunately for me, Ezreal kind of sussed it out and is able to stop my recall there as well. So here Seraphine, you can see, has already recalled and come back to lane, and I'm kind of forced to stay It's not really the worst scenario in the world, because, you know, I'm still doing alright. I'm still, you know, more fed than Ezreal. I still, Shield Bow versus Manamune, I still, you know, I'm stronger than Ezreal, but I really want to back and spend my gold. So here I'm going to walk further back, and I'm going to just back here and, you know, get my gold. Seraphine decides to actually stay, despite being at half health, to, of course, clear the wave and prevent them from getting too much tower damage. But here I'm able to complete my RUNAAN'S Hurricane. So with the RUNAAN'S Hurricane, it's a huge spike, being able to attack, like, you know, 2 to 3 targets at once, instead of just one. So here Seraphine is really low. Ezreal actually wanted to chase, but because he saw me, you know, he's not going to be able to do that. Here I pop the Ghost, and I'm trying to run them down. Here Pantheon gets the stun onto Ezreal. I barely hit the ult onto Nami to trigger it, and here I'm just blasting Ezreal down with the ulti. I'm blasting Nami next. And Lee Sin actually lets me get the kill here, which is really, really nice of him. Here I'm going to sidestep the Kayn knockup, and here it's 3v1 versus the Kayn. Somehow Kayn dies when he's inside me. I'm not quite sure how. I think it might be like Lee Sin's red buff or something like that, but he dies without even coming out. I really don't know what's going on. But yeah, so anyways, we end up winning a fight in the bottom side of the map. And, you know, we're doing pretty well now. Of course, we ourselves haven't died. We're 7-0 and 2. We're doing really, really well. Our team is doing pretty good as well, especially the Lee Sin and the Pantheon. Jax and Seraphine are holding their own as well. Now, Seraphine's KDA may not look too hot, but as you guys can see from the gameplay, we know that she's making the plays. We know that she's a really good support. And especially when you're playing support, it isn't all about KDA. It's also a lot about what you're actually doing on the map. Because, you know, she's basically dying so that we can get kills. And, you know, in my opinion, that's what a good support does. So, we definitely think that she's doing really, really well as well. On the side of the enemy team, of course, Ezreal not doing too hot. Neither is Yasuo. Honestly, somehow Nami is actually doing the best on their team, at least in terms of KDA. And here Pantheon tries to go in. We want to get an engage on. And of course, we're stronger, so we do want to look to fight. Here, Kayn ends up finding himself in a 1v4. Jax jumps onto him. He tries to go through the wall to the other side. Seraphine ends up picking up the kill onto the Kayn. Here, Ziggs is caught out of position with a ult and like just a couple auto attacks. I'm gonna just run him down. Yeah, Ziggs is completely caught out of position there, and I end up going legendary. Now, this is sort of becoming a game where it's a little bit more textbook. It's not a complete stomp like the game we had yesterday, where we, at this point in time in the game yesterday, we already had a 10k gold lead. Now, of course, we are still winning this game. We still have a 5k gold lead. We're still winning, but we're not completely just stomping them to the ground here. But so here, we once again pick up the Stasis today. Now, I know I said that it's 50-50 between Stasis and QSS, but of course, we only have a 2-game sample size here, so it happens that in both of these games, the Stasis is going to be more important for us. Because once again here, there's very little we can QSS in this game, whereas we can, of course, Stasis like when we see a Yasuo coming in, or like when we see a Kayn coming in, or like when Kayn is ulting us, we can of course pop the Stasis. So I think Stasis is going to be a lot more helpful here. Now here we're actually trying to do the dragon, but our team unfortunately isn't in position. You can see Seraphine is only making her way over. We already have a death onto Jax, and Pantheon is only just walking here. So despite being the stronger team, we're not in position, so we're going to have to be a bit cautious here. Pantheon goes in with the ultimate, and here I go in. I thought I had ult here, but so that looked like a really stupid play there. I thought I had ult, so I was trying to E over for the ult, but I didn't actually have ult. I only just got my ult now. So here I'm finally popping the ult and you know, of course, running people down. Now here I make a big mistake. I end up dashing over to try to kill Ziggs and Nami, because in my opinion I was like, oh, it's Ziggs and Nami. I can easily just fly on over, kill the Ziggs and Nami, and, you know, be done with it. But I didn't take into consideration that Yasuo could have been there. So I end up dashing over, fighting myself against a full health Yasuo, and I just end up dying. Thankfully though, my team is able to clean up the kill onto Yasuo and Ziggs, and they're also able to pick up the dragon. So overall, we're not really punished too hard for my mistake. Of course, the main issue here is I give over a 9-kill shutdown to the Yasuo, and you can see that now Yasuo has pretty decent amount of gold, comparable to the other people on my team. So as I said, it's not really a complete stomp. Like Yasuo and Ziggs, especially in terms of gold, despite their KDA being pretty bad, in terms of gold, they're still pretty competitive. Like they're still like they have more gold than people like the Pantheon, and they're about equivalent gold to like the Jax. So it's still a competitive game. It's not a complete stomp, not like yesterday. So here we're just gonna go ahead and farm the jungle a bit. You can see here that with the RUNAAN'S Hurricane, you can farm the jungle a lot more easier as well, which is not really a thing with Phantom Dancer, because you can't hit through jungle monsters. So here my team is kind of getting caught out repeatedly. Just now we saw Jax get caught out before the dragon. Now Pantheon is getting caught out, and it's just sort of overall just becoming a sort of a mini disaster here. Here there's a blue buff. Seraphine already has a blue buff, so I'm just going to pick up this blue buff because Zeri, you know, as I mentioned, does spam quite a bit of spells, so having blue buff is always a nice thing. Not essential, but it's nice. So here the red buff is actually up, and I was actually kind of just waiting for Lee Sin to take the red buff. I didn't really want to steal the red buff away from him because Lee Sin's a pretty good player. He's a pretty nice guy as well. He's giving me kills, and I don't really want to rob him of his red buff. So, here I'm just going to go top and clear out the minion wave. Here we can see that Ezreal is pushing in and getting the bot lane tower. Because of the fact we lost a couple of picks here to the enemy team, we're a little bit on the back foot. We're just staying back and just farming minions for now. And Lee Sin still doesn't take the red buff, which is pretty annoying. Here I'm pinging Baron because I don't see any enemy on the map, and I'm thinking that they might be on Baron, even though we have like the Skull of Vision over there. But anyways, regardless, we get mid lane prior, and we're actually going straight onto the Baron because enemy team doesn't suspect us being here. A lot of times you can do Baron really early now, because of the fact that Baron is now really squishy. You can see here that we're kind of bursting down the Baron. Now that enemy team is here, though, we don't really want to do the Baron because it's going to be a full-on 5v5. So we're kind of just baiting them here so that we can try to lure them into a team fight. In the meantime, Pantheon is split pushing, so we're going to be able to like possibly get a fight and get some towers as well. Of course, we're going to be aware that Pantheon is not here. King gets a huge 3-man knockup here. And here I'm ulting and trying to blast down whoever I can, blasting down the Yasuo, blasting down the Nami and the Ziggs. Here you can see with the movement speed from the Ghost and the ult, here I'm just kiting around the whole fight. This is pretty much a Zeri's like dream team fight where you can kite around the fight back and forth and just blast whoever you want and not take too much damage. Unfortunately though, we are put pretty low, so we don't really want to continue forcing the fight too much. Ezreal does get picked off by the Lee Sin, and here we're on the chase for Nami. Nami's the last man alive, and here honestly we can go for Barons. I'm pinging for Baron. Now, Lee Sin of course is still alive and relatively healthy. Embarrassing miss there. I can't hit the Baron with my W apparently. So anyways, here we're just gonna do the Baron. With the three of us, it's more than enough. Lee Sin tanks the Baron, I do the damage, and Seraphine keeps us topped up in terms of health. Even Jax has come over to help out with the Baron, hops into the pit for the DPS, and here you can see Yasuo is trying his best to come here and try to do something. Here, Lee Sin secures the Baron with the smite. Yasuo, unfortunately, is running us all down. Here, I'm going to have to flash away and run. Try to preserve our Baron buff. I mean, now you respawn with Baron buff anyway, so I guess dying after Baron is not really the worst in the world. But, I don't want to die, so I'm just going to run. So, here I'm running. And here I'm making my great escape. And yeah, we do end up getting the Baron. And we also pick up our Bloodthirster off of all of those like kills that we haven't been able to spend the gold on yet. So here we're on a 3-item power spike. We have the Bloodthirster, Shield Bow, and the RUNAAN'S Hurricane. Of course, this is a really strong point. A lot of sustain and survivability, as well as a lot of damage coming in from our RUNAAN'S Hurricane. Now this red buff has been up for like I think the last 5 minutes. So I'm just gonna take it at this point. Looks like Lee Sin is not interested in that red buff. Now the last dragon is going to be spawning momentarily. Here I'm just clearing out the wave that's pushing in to our lane. And it's like 9 seconds from dragon spawning. You can see Kayn and Yasuo on the opposite side of the map there, trying to stop the Jax from split pushing. Now this is a huge mistake. This basically gives us free triple dragon. And I don't know why the enemy team would want to do that. But here you can see we're basically just going in and blasting the dragon. Here there's a ward there. We're just going to remove it, but like honestly, nothing that any team can do anyways. We secure triple dragon. Jax even gets a kill onto the Kayn with the help of Seraphine. Although he does fall afterwards to the Ziggs. Now here, fight happening at the top lane. Honestly, I just wanted to push the mid lane, but I see that huge fights going on. So Lee Sin's rotating. I'm rotating with the Lee Sin. Lee Sin's able to get a quick pick onto Ziggs, and now we're only 2 per side up. It's me and Lee Sin versus Nami and Ezreal, so it's pretty even in terms of numbers. Here I'm just going to, I was gonna push, but I realized my Baron buff has run out, so I just want to reset here and pick up some items. So here, of course, we're going for the Maul Reminder. A lot of healing on enemy team. We have Yasuo with like Bork and Shield Bow. We have like Kayn, Red Kayn does a lot of healing. Nami does a lot of healing as well. Ezreal has a Bork, so a lot of healing that we want to cut. And of course, Yasuo and Kayn are getting a little bit more tanky. So getting ourselves the Maul Reminder, definitely the way to go. Now here, once again, bot lane is pushing in. So Here we're trying to clear out the bot lane and ensure that our lanes are pushed out so that we don't, get split pushed by the enemy team, or we don't end up losing towers to minions. It's a very common thing that happens, as you guys know, in matches. So we don't want that to happen. We want to avoid that happening. So we're just gonna make sure our lanes are pushed out, and make sure we just have all pushing lanes so that we can easily just go for objectives when we want to. Now here I'm kind of setting a trap, Lee Sin with the sweeper. Unfortunately, Ziggs kind of just guesses that we're there. He still falls into the trap anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But now we're kind of caught in the trap ourselves. We're getting pinned up by the enemy team from 3 directions, and I end up dying. Lee Sin ends up dying as well. Now Jax and Seraphine together with Pantheon trying to make the dream work. Pantheon does end up dying, and it's now Jax and Seraphine. Jax with a beautiful 2-man stun on the enemy bot lane, gets the plant as well, finishes off the Ezreal, now goes onto the Nami, and here Nami tries to flash away, gets hit by the bubble after using his Q. Honestly, if Jax played it a little bit better, could have gotten the ace, but unfortunately that was not the case. Either way, both Baron and Elder are going to be spawning. We're in a more advantageous position, although, we did die, but only Nami left alive for their team versus we have Jax and Seraphine. It's pretty good. Me and Lee Sin are going to be the first to respawn together with the Ziggs, because, we're the first people to die. So, that ironically gives us priority to move towards the Elder Dragon as well as the Baron. Of course, being the team that's more ahead, we could opt to trade Elder for Baron, but why not just go for both? Like, we all know the enemy team is going to go for Elder, so we're just going to go Elder as well and try our best to, just burst it down before the enemy team can come here. I'm just going to blast plant over to the other side. As I mentioned, we can burst down the Elder before Kane can get here. We get the Elder Dragon, and now the enemy team is stuck in a fight they don't want to be in. With the Elder Dragon and with the ultimate, you can see we're just blasting all of them down. We get a double kill onto the Ziggs, splashing forward, trying to get the Nami, but Nami just does go pop the Stasis. Triple kill onto the Nami, and we're going to hop over and try to see if we can pick up Ezreal for the Quadra, but it doesn't really happen. But anyways, with the Elder and with a wave, we can just go ahead and just end the game right here. Mid wave is coming in as well, and Ezreal tries to ult to clear the wave, but as we know, Ezreal ult doesn't do too much. Nice flash ulti by the Seraphine to get the pick onto the Ezreal. I'm able to finish him off with the Elder, and we're able to pick up the kill, pick up the win. So anyways guys, I'm going to leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.